What's good? What's good, YouTube? History Reset, the ancient Canaanite Decoded. I go by the name Pushy Push. Down below is my TikTok. Definitely drop a like and subscribe over there. Also, drop a like right here on my YouTube right here and subscribe right here to Pushy Push. But let's get into this one, family, right here. So we're going to get into the Canaanite. I'm a firm believer that history has been altered. So this is the reason why I said history reset. I believe a lot of things in our past has been changed. Um, all the way to the Bible, all the way through our science, our math. I believe a lot of things from the old world has been altered. So with this name Canaan, that is what I'm going to be talking about right here. I believe I found an alternate name, and I've been sitting on this for some time, but just having enough information, to kind of back up what I want to show right here. So we're gonna get into this right here with the Canaanite mythology right here and the gods religions of ancient Canaan. So we've been told that Canaan is an ancient place, and of course because it's in the Bible, but I believe that a lot of the ancient places have been renamed, and they are renamed on purpose. So Canaan is one of those names to me that I believe was a rename. So I'm only showing you what I have found. So let's start this off. This right here is a ancient Semitic Hebrew language paper. It's basically like an alphabet, and it shows ancient Hebrew on the left in the brown, and it shows Yiddish and Greek and Latin to the right over here. And what I'm saying is our language that we say, like our alphabets, all come from an Hebrew, basically a language pattern. So let me give you a close up. This right here is a good close up right here. So let's look at the first line. This will help out right here. So it says early, middle, and late right here on the left. The original symbol is an ox head. That's what you're looking at. In the middle, that's an ox head. And then in the late, the symbol changes. But the ah right there, the ah, that was one of our original Hebrew sounds. And it means a strong, powerful leader. And as you can see, as you go over the ah sound, and then when you get to the Yiddish, things start to change a little bit, because the the AH has been silent. So if you look over, it says sound, it says silent. So the A is now in place. So it's no longer ah. And this is what I mean when I say like the language was altered. So because the language was altered, it was changed into new symbols. And these symbols give a different sound or a different meaning to original words. So when we see a, the original symbol for the A, was an ox head, but it was also a whole different sound. It was ah. It wasn't just A by itself. And if you look below, there's Ba, and it means family house in. And if you put them two together, you get Abba. What that is a strong family, a powerful house, a leader house. That is a father. Abba, Ahba. That is an old word right there. And these sounds right here are the sounds that you say even as a baby. So I believe that these were the sounds and the writings that we had in our last paradigm with all those great buildings, mind you. So just because they have this sound doesn't mean that they were, primitive or anything like that. But when we get down right here underneath the B to the C and G, so we're looking over here at Latin. This is what woke me up. What I do is called transliterating. So you take this type of sound right here and you replace it back to where they got it from. So the C and the G is saying that it comes from Ga, G-A. So when you see a C, it should have always been a G-A because that's where the C come from. So you go back. You see the Canaan right there. It should have been a G right there. You see the C, it should have been a G or a GA. And if you look here, that's what you're looking at in the Latin. That C, let me go back right there. Sorry. That C right there should have been a G. And that's what you're seeing right here. That C should have been a G. And if you had a G there, it would have been a whole different name. It would have been Ghana right there, or, Ghanaian. But I'm going to show you something very interesting right there with that C and that G, because that was so important. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the name of Canaan, this name right here, and we're going to transliterate it. So we're going to put all the ancient Hebrew letter sounds back. That means replacing the C with the G. That is what I want to show you right here. So that is the reason why we're looking at this Hebrew paper. And this right here is going to give you a whole different name. And with that, I'm going to show you an interesting history that comes along with this right here. So we're going to jump here. Right here, I had did a TikTok and it got about 25,000 views on one time that I posted, and then maybe 50 on another one that I posted. But I did this a while ago, and I showed an example with the Canaan piece, what this is. So I'm gonna let this run, and then we can kind of go over it.
There's levels to the reset.
What's good, family? Could the land of Canaan, hopefully audio is good, ancient Ghana? The Bible has been affected by the reset. I'm going to use a Hebrew graph and a sheet of paper to explain my argument. Okay, family, this is the word Canaan, and what we're going to do is match each letter to its original Hebrew sound. So the C in Canaan was Ga, so we're going to match that right underneath and put Ga, G-A, right there. Here is the A, which is for Ah. You see that right there? A is for Ah. And we're going to come over here next to the G and we're going to write A-H. Ah. The next one is the N for Na. So we're going to go over here. And as you can see, Na is N, Na. And we're going to connect it to the N. And we'll fill out the rest. Can you see it, family? Read it from the right. Ana Ghana, Prince or King Ghana. The AHNA on the right is Prince or King Ghana. Let's break it down. The Jesuits was trying to get rid of the ah sound, but that still is Ghana. The priest was slowly changing the name by taking away its meaning and leaving only the sound. They also added vowels, but their plan was to change the spelling and keep the sound. The land of Canaan could be ancient Ghana. Is it possible to take a story from West Africa and place it in East Africa? Friend up. All right, all right. So just to pull back on a little bit right there. by taking that C and fixing all the letters back to its original sound. So as you can see, let's even see if we can get this a little bigger. The C was originally a G or ga. The A was originally ah. The N was originally na. These letters right here, G A A H N A, were all singled down where they took the A's off of them. So the word Canaan became the name that we see. But when we go back and you put each original sound back in its place, you get the name Ga Na, Ana. So from the right side, AHNA, Na means son. So like leader, son. This is the reason why I felt like it was Prince. Ga Na. GAAH is saying Ga. NAAH is saying Na. And when you modernize it, like how we see it, it goes GAH, Ga Na. And take the H's off, Ghana. So they removed a lot of the A's, they removed the H's, they silent the A. That's what happened. But this right here is the name that I got for Canaan. So we jump back over. This is what I'm getting out of here for the land of Canaan. If I reversed all the letters in the Canaan name back to its original sound, meaning the A back to Ah, you know, the C in Canaan back to Ga. You fix all that back, I came up with the name Ghana. And it gets interesting when I try to apply what I found to history, you know, because we're looking, you know, I'm looking for ancient, you know, Canaan, and I'm then reversed his name, and now I'm sitting with the name Ghana. So, you know, I had to investigate it. And this is what I came up with. It says, what does the Ghana mean in ancient history? So it's already recognized in ancient Ghana. It says Ghanas were kingdoms where decisions were made in assemblies attended by groups of rulers. So Ghanas were kingdoms, like so a Ghana is a kingdom, you know, and then it says these were the earliest forms of republic governments. Women, slaves, and wage earners could not be a part of the Ghanas. And then this makes it deep when it says Guthan, Buddha, and Mahavira, I hope I said that right, also belongs to such Ghana. So this Ghana thingy, these Ghana kingdoms are seeming to be in India, and I've found it to be also in Africa. The difference with the one in Africa is the A is now changed to an H. So I found the name, I looked at the name Ghana, I transliterated the name from this paper right here, changing the C back to its original sound Ga, changing the A back to original sound Ah, and it gave me the name Ghana, Gana. And then when you look it up, it says Ghanas were kingdoms, were kingdoms. See, they wrote in the book ancient Canaan. This is why I said, you know, we've had such a reset that it would be almost naive to think that they didn't alter the Bible if they altered so much of our history, meaning even our math. So the Ghanas were kingdoms where decisions were made. This is where it gets deeper, though. You see this right here? It says Ghana Empire, 7th to 12th century. You got to ask yourself, have you ever heard of the Ghana Empire in the 7th century? See, what's interesting is you see the name spelling, Ghana. If you just remove the H, you would be with the same word, Ghana. So it seems like that name has traveled, you know. So I get the Ghanas right here. coming out of the name Canaan. I changed the C to a G to GA. We corrected the name. So those letters, you put it back. You put them all back. And I came out with the name Ghana. And this is showing that the Ghanas were kingdoms. And here is an ancient Ghanaian kingdom and empire in the 7th and 12th century. You have to ask yourself again, have you ever heard of this? Have you seen many history books on this right here? And this goes so deep. It goes so deep. So just to show, I found the name Ghana through transliterating, basically taking Canaan and reversing it back to its original sound. So the C, which was a G, I took it back to Ga. And I took the A, I took every letter and I put it back to its original Hebrew sound. And that's how I got Ghana. When I was looking up the Ghana Empire, this is where things really went wild. It says right here, the Ghana Empire was a West African trading empire that was most powerful from 700 to the 1200s. And that's interesting right there. 700s to the 1200s. It says the empire was located between the Saharas, Niger, and what is now Mali and Mauritania. So the 700s to the 1200s in West Africa. Well, let me show you a connection. It says right here, the Moorish Empire or the Islamic Emirate, it's dating from 711 to 1492. And this is like they're saying that they're ruling from Portugal, up in that area. But what I found was these Moorish people are also from the exact same area. So we're going to be looking at that 700, and then we look at 711 right there. The starting times, the ending time is 1200 on the Ghana Empire, and on the Moorish is 1492. So I'm saying that these two got connections to each other. The Moorish, they're 711 to 1492, and I show why. It was saying right here who founded the Ghana Kingdom. So obviously it was established in the 700s, but being founded means that it started to have governance, paperwork that says you're an official place. And that place was put together by Abdullah Yassin, their capital, Marrakesh, a city they founded in 1062. And this is what's interesting. It said the dynasties originated among the Lamtuna and the Gudala nomadic Berber tribes. So the nomadic Berber tribes is Moors. That's why I said there was a connection. The Berber tribes are Moors. So we go back 711. This place was started with Berber Moors in the 700s. And that's why I said, it's kind of funny that, you have the Moorish Empire in the 700s and 711. But this what brings it all together. It says right here, the Ghanan as an empire. The says Ghana may also refer to the as the Empire of Ghana, which was located in West Africa from 300 AD to 1235. So on this piece, they got Ghana much older than 700, 300 AD. It says the empire was located in what is now Mauritania, Senegal, and Mali. So this is where Moors come from, Mauritania. It said the empire was weakened by attacks from tribal groups in the northern Africa who wanted the empire to convert to Islam. The northern Africans were, let's go back right here, the Nordic Berber tribes, and they wanted them to convert to Islam. It says the empire was eventually incorporated in Mali, so just something interesting right there. Um, it seems to me that your the Moors was a part of this empire. And mind you, I'm then got this name from transliterating Canaan. And then we come across a text, let's go back. You get a text where it says the Ghanans were kingdoms. And then it show you the kingdom of Ghana, the empire right here. And then its timeline 700 to 1200s, which is the exact same timeline of the Moors in the exact same area. And this is talking about how they were weakened by Northern Africans who had converted to Islam. And that was Moors also. But this is how you know it's deeper, and it is Moors. It said, how did the Ghana Empire decline? The Almoravids. The Almoravids are Moors. A Muslim group from northwest Africa took control of the empire's city, Kumbi, in 1076. So the Moors, which is the Almoravids, took over the kingdom of Ghana. See, what I'm saying is the Moors are a bloodline. They're people, like a bloodline. They're not a kingdom. They are a bloodline of people who was living in the kingdom of Ghana, in the empire of Ghana. Somewhere in history, the empire Ghana got erased, and we were given this right here, the Moorish Empire. The Moors are a family bloodline. And what I'm showing is they are a family bloodline that ruled inside of the kingdom of Ghana. And they took over in 1076 right here. That is the Almoravids. It says the Almoravids disrupted trade routes and destroyed their cropland. So the Moors had took over right here. Very interesting. You see this right here? It says Empire. Do Ghana right here. So this is the Empire of Ghana right here. And you can see that this is the area where the Moors come from, and they went all the way up as far as Europe. But like I said, we have been taught a Moorish empire and not a Ghanaian empire. And this is the reason why I was saying that there was, the Bible has been tampered with, because we're looking for the land of Canaan, but I don't think that it is a true ancient name, and it's simply because of the letters. The letters are code letters for a whole nother language. So we go back right here. We go back. You see the A. The original sound for A is ah. The original sound for B is ga. And the original sound for C, which is a G, is ga. So these letters that we use is almost the equivalent of being like a Morse code. So this is what I consider to be reset right here. The factor that you're seeing the A original sound is ah, and now it's no longer that. That is a reset. That is something that has taken away your sounds, and now you say them different. So I don't believe there was a land of Canaan, because the C comes from the G, and the A comes from the ah, and the N comes from na, N-A. So I don't believe that there was a name called Canaan, because you can see the system right here. And this is what I mean, that by the time you get to the Yiddish, the Greek, and the Latin, the tongue has changed. This is what I consider the reset. And this reset is all the way into the Bible. The reset is all the way into the Bible. So if you look right here, successor states to the Ghanaian Empire. So when the Ghanaian Empire fell completely in the 1200s, these were the states that came out of it. And you see one at the bottom, Mali. Mali came out of the Empire of Ghana. There was no Mali before the empire of Ghana right here. And this is what I said, like the Moors, they are a people who was a part of the empire of Ghana, but this history has been erased. It's been erased so much that we call it Canaan today. And I believe that they've written a bit of a script and put it into the Bible. You got to ask yourself, is King James, is he a Moor? Does his history go back to this Ghanaian empire right here? And that's why I said you see it ending in 1492, the Moorish Empire ending. But this is at the exact same time, all in the exact same area, from 711 to 1492. This gets deep, 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 because I know a lot of you are thinking, well, there's a Ghana that is already established right now in Africa. So how could there be an ancient Ghana? And I'm going to show you, this is where the Ghana today gets its name from. It says, who named Ghana Ghana? It says eventually this objective was achieved on March 6, 1957, under the leadership of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who had broken away from the UGCC to form the Conventional People's Party. Thus, the Gold Coast, on the eve of its freedom from British rule, became known as Ghana, named after the medieval Ghanaian Empire of West Africa. So the Empire of Ghana was dissolved in the 1200s, and this guy Kwame renames the Gold Coast after ancient Ghana. This is what is it, 700-800 years after. I mean, if Ghana, the Empire of Ghana right here, ended in the 1200s, and he's naming this area in 1957, we're talking about there was no mention of the name Ghana for over 800 years. There was literally no mention of the name. And the name you had in its place is Moorish Empire. There was no Moorish Empire. There was Moorish people, Moorish bloodline, and they lived in the Ghanaian Empire. This right here is a good example right here. So here is Ghana in 830, 1235, and here's modern Ghana. So they're not even in the exact same place right here. So if I want you to look at something also real close. It says at the top, they got these little red lines going across. So there's one that tells you to the far left are Almoravids, Berbers. Then it says to Morocco. That's going to Europe. You see the other red line? It says to Europe. So this is where your Moors start. And this is them inside of the Ghanaian kingdom, the Ghanaian empire. And the Moors ruled inside of the Ghanaian empire as of 1076. So the whole idea of them being in power in the 700s is like false history, because in the 700s, it was a mixture of different groups of people who formed the Ghanaian kingdom. Let's go one step further. This is how deep it is. So it showed that the Moorish Empire was in Europe, the Portugals, all the way up to German. This is where you get German Reich from. You get it from Ghana Reich, the Ghanaian Empire. The people, the Moors who was in Europe, that was in Germany, they all were a part of the Ghanaian Empire. They chose to erase history. That's what I'm saying. And I'm kind of blaming them. I'm saying that they are choosing to erase history, to erase that they was a part of a kingdom. What they have done is said that they Their name is the kingdom. More is the kingdom. It's not. And this is very deep right here because I'm saying that these are the people who has changed the ancient name to the modern names that we see. They are the ones who are changing. So let's go back right here. They are the ones that are changing the ah to the a. You see in the orange, in the brown right there, light brown, Yiddish, New Hebrew, New Hebrew. So New Hebrew is what I call reset language right there. And New Hebrew, we can now give you a new name because you're not going to say ah no more. You're going to say a. You're not going to say ga. You're going to say si. And that si now can be Canaan. So I don't believe that there ever was a Canaan empire. I believe that that is like a code name and part of the reset, because even for the world, Christianity was brought through the sword, so it wasn't like a peaceful thing where people joined through being in a peaceful nature with that right there. But I wanted to show you this piece right here. You see it says the Kingdom of Ghana right there. Kingdom of Ghana. That name is the name that we're seeing inside of the scriptures, even though they're calling it Canaan. And that's why I showed that it said Ghanas are kingdoms. So you got to open up our minds now a little bit when we're talking about the kingdom of Canaan or the empire of Canaan or ancient Canaan. This is what it is. And Ghanas are kingdoms. And it might have been more than one Ghana right there. All this right here off of this paper, off of this right here. This is the reason why we have to go back and learn the Hebrew. It's because they changed the Hebrew sounds into the modern Yiddish, the New Hebrew. And New Hebrew, in my opinion, is reset language. It's the reason why I don't believe we say anything properly. I'm definitely going to do some more videos on this because I want to show you Abraham's real name. It'll blow your mind. Even an example of Samuel in the Bible that is actually mispronounced like Samuel. We say it, from the left to the right. That name is actually El Samu. You should look that up. That is an actual place, El Samu. And if you go El Samu, type in Lord Samu, and you're going to get the same a location that is where the book of Samuel is supposed to be um, happening at that time. So there's a thing going on with taking these letters and putting them back in their place. I don't say that they work every time, but majority of the time they work for me. So I've been able to find um, that, say, Ethiopia extends all the way to India through a river. Um, the word Hebrew, I know they call that a people, but it's actually a location. So in this next video, I'm gonna go a lot deeper in this conversation right here. This is just to show you what I found with the name Canaan. When you take the Latin alphabets and you put them back to its original Hebrew sound, you got a whole different sound. The word Canaan, when you put it back to its Hebrew sound, is the name Ghana, and it's someone's actual name, meaning like Anah Ghana or King or Prince Ghana. It's an actual person or something of that nature like that. And then, just the other piece where we looked at where it said the Ghanas are, and we'll go all the way back real quick before we end out. Right here, go back right here. Where does it say that? Right here. It says Ghanas were kingdoms where decisions were made. So it's not one place. And now you have to kind of relook at what does Canaan really mean when you transliterate it back? Because when I got the word Ghana, it's saying that it's kingdoms, you know. So I'm not taking away from Canaan being an empire. I'm saying it's not the name. The name Canaan is Latinized. So definitely thank you for going this far. Definitely tune in to the next video because it's going to be like this. You know, I'm just going to show some other things that I found, and Abraham being one of them. That is not his name. That is not his name. And I'll show it to you, and the internet is going to agree. So, with that right there, family, until the next time, thank you for watching.